Gotta download the Odyssey app for sure.
From KDAWN.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
And good morning, Las Vegas. What's happening? We are live here on KDAWN 101.5 FM. It is the talk of Las Vegas. And it has been a very busy week of pro wrestling, and we're going to bring it all to you. And it should be a pretty exciting day. And there we go. Now I'll get myself on the live stream. That helps. There we go. We're all set. But, of course, Forbidden Door from AEW, Money in the Bank this week. And, well, Legend is going to be stepping away. And we got a little insight into what was going on before everything happened at WrestleMania 42. So we're going to be talking about all of this and a whole lot more. It is a jam-packed show. I wasn't kidding when I said that on X, which you can follow us on X at Mark Hoke Show. Would certainly appreciate that. And, of course, you can join in that live stream, guys. If you want to hop in there, just go on YouTube or X or Facebook, wherever you want. It's all the Mark Hoke Show. Just check it out. We would certainly appreciate it. And I am joined today. He's coming along for the ride. We're going to be like riding in a stagecoach on the frontier. My good buddy from Myrick along for the ride the whole way today. A sweetheart.
Did you say a stagecoach on the frontier?
Yes.
Is that just because I'm in Texas?
Yeah.
I would think we'd be riding along in a Formula One car. I mean, you're in Las Vegas that hosts the Las Vegas Grand Prix. I'm in Austin that hosts the United States Grand Prix for Formula One. In fact, I'm watching the British Grand Prix. By the way, Lewis Hamilton just took the lead. He might have a chance to win his home race. And it'd be the first win he's had in at least 3 years.
Well, I hate to tell you, Stu, but you might kill our ratings by a point if you start talking about F1 in Las Vegas right now.
Yeah, I remember you guys weren't that happy about having F1 in your city.
It was a little bit of a disaster.
I mean, we have the track. We have the track. It was actually built for Formula One, so we don't have to worry about the city streets. It's out actually Elroy, which is the southeastern suburb of Austin. So
yeah, gee, wouldn't that have been a good idea instead of tearing apart the busiest street on the planet? Just saying.
It's worked for us for this will be number 12 or number 13.
See, that makes sense.
So
that makes sense.
Plus, we got Eminem coming to do the post-race concert.
Wow.
So,
God, if we had a post-race concert,
on
top of all this fiasco, oh my God.
Well, we are the live music capital of the world.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah.
Well, we're the entertainment capital of the world,
right?
So
we don't we don't do all of entertainment, but live music, even today we still have it pretty nailed down.
Yeah. So yeah, trust me, this will be a very interesting year for Formula One here, but sorry, flashbacks for all of us in the city.
Let's talk some wrestling.
Yeah, let's talk some wrestling.
Are you losing more listeners?
Yeah, but it was a very wild week. Of course, we went into last Sunday's show, headed into Forbidden Door, and we're going to be covering that. And of course, Money in the Bank was yesterday. I'm going to hop around a little bit because the first thing that I want to lead into is at Money in the Bank last night, kind of caught everybody a little bit off guard, was John Cena announcing this retirement. Now, I don't know exactly when this is all going to be over because it seemed like it expanded as the night went on. But John Cena has announced that at some point this next year, he will be finishing it all out. And so we're going to be saying goodbye to John Cena as an active in-ring competitor. It was kind of weird, though. I don't know when he's done or what's happening because At first, he said the last match was going to be at WrestleMania, but now he's saying he's doing 30 or 40 dates, and he's going to be doing things all through 2025. So I'm a little confused, even after the press conference, as to what exactly is going to be going on. But the bottom line is we will be saying goodbye to John Cena. Stu, and your thoughts when you heard that?
Like you said, I like you, a little surprised. We knew the day was coming, because John is, he's got more and more commitments in the entertainment world, movie roles, that type of thing. So we knew that retirement was coming. Doing these retirement tours he's talking about, doing the 30 to 40 dates, into 2025. It's a good idea. The big question I had, and I think it was asked during the press conference about, does he want another title shot? Because remember, he's at 16 world titles. One other man that officially has 16 world titles, that'd be the Nature Boy Ric Flair. So does he want to break that record? And he was strategic in his answer. He said, look, I've been on a bit of a losing slump, so I got some work to do. But if the opportunity presents itself, who knows? And look, I have said this forever. John Cena's 16 world titles is totally different than Ric Flair's 16 world titles. Just because all 16 of John Cena's world titles are in WWE. Whereas Flair, NWA, WCW, WWE, he was the one that he carried the NWA back in the 80s, doing all those dates, going to Florida, going to World Class, defending it everywhere. So it is a little bit different. And as I said, it's Ric Flair's official 16 world titles. He's held the title much more than that,
right?
But some of them weren't recognized, or there was, in fact, Kerry Silkin told me the story about Flair went to Puerto Rico to defend the title, and he got so, the crowd was so raucous and ready to just riot. So just to get him out of the building, he went ahead and dropped the world title to whoever he was wrestling in Puerto Rico.
Was that the one with Jack Vanovo, if I remember right?
May have been. He dropped the title just so he could get out of there, and the NWA didn't recognize it. So, but yeah, it'll be fun to see what John Cena can create in the next year and a half. And it's interesting that they talk, he's announcing this now with, looking at 2025, the full of 2025, and we're in July. So we've got another, just under 6 months of 2024 left.
Yeah. So yeah, it would seem WrestleMania would be the place to end it. So I don't know. I think there's still some details to work out on this, and I'm curious to see if anything is going to get backed off on that, because John was, like I said, he was kind of all over the place with this thing. So I would imagine it's still a work in progress. And, dragging it out for a year and a half would seem to be a little excessive, don't you think? But I don't know. I mean, I'm excited about it, and obviously John Cena is a legend, but he can do what he wants. But
I don't know if you call it excessive. I mean, if they spread them out, 30, 40 dates, you're thinking, so it's 18 months between now and the end of 2025. 30, 40 dates in 18 months, that's still, maybe 2 dates a month.
Yeah.
Maybe a third every now and again. But so I think it's a good amount.
Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be, and that question of whether they're going to put him in the world championship picture, boy, that is going to be a tough call with all of these guys jockeying for position. As we just saw last night, there's so many people that are in that world heavyweight championship picture. You sure don't want to mess him with Cody Rhodes in any way whatsoever. So this is going to be intriguing to see if they would decide, you know what, we're going to give John one more run on top. Boy, I'm very torn on that. That would seem, I don't know. I'm
Well, let's not forget they have the World Heavyweight Championship, which is still around Damian Priest's waist.
right.
So
But you have so many
hold
people.
either one, and that would be 17.
Yeah, I mean, you have so many people that are wrestling so well that are in that picture, and it would just seem like if you shove John Cena into there real quick, you know, is that fair to the other guys that are there? I don't know. I mean, of course, fair has never been a word in pro wrestling that seems to fit. So interesting stuff there. But John Cena announcing his retirement last night at Money in the Bank, and has some pretty nice merch to go with it. What a shock. So that'll be something to see with John Cena walking away last night at Money in the Bank. And of course, tell you what, let's take our first break. Let's get that out of the way so we can start getting into these two pay-per-views, because of course a lot happened at Forbidden Door. 15 matches actually happened at Forbidden Door on Sunday night. And of course, Money in the Bank, which, Stu, I'm torn on this card. I want to say I loved it, but then I think about some of the things that happened last night, and I'm like, I don't know. Maybe you can help me. You can help me. Stu Myrick joining me here on the Mark Hoke Show. We'll be right back with the best in pro wrestling here on KDAWN, the Odyssey app, streaming out there on YouTube, Facebook, and X. We'll be right back.
Lowe's knows owning a project means owning the right tools. And during Craftsman Days, you can save big on what you need from a brand you trust. Get a free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select Battery 2-pack. Plus, get your choice of the V20 string trimmer or leaf blower for only $99. Find these savings and more today. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 7/10 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
The wait is over. Dell Technologies Black Friday and July deals are live. Check out incredible savings on select laptops and more, like the XPS 15, powered by Intel Core processors. The XPS 15 brings you the perfect balance of power and portability, plus stellar visuals and immersive sound. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to exceptional tech and electronics, plus free shipping on everything. Don't miss out on Black Friday and July savings at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
As you know, summer is right around the corner, and for most people, that means more activities, more golf, more biking, more of whatever you love to do. But if you're dealing with aches and pains, your more could become less. This is why I'm here to tell you about Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. You see, instead of masking your pain, Relief Factor's formula is designed to help reduce or even eliminate it. It's 100% drug-free, and it's been a game changer for so many people. So let's get after it this summer. Let's feel good. Let's do more of the things that we love to do. Don't let pain keep you down. Give Relief Factor a try and save on your first order. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4RELIEF. Help fight pain naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
You're pregnant, and no matter what you do, no matter what you try, you can't stop using alcohol, drugs, or tobacco. But no matter how lost you are, how far along you are, it's not too late. There's always hope, and there are many safe places that can help you stop using. In Nevada, pregnant women are given the highest priority for substance use treatment. Low-cost treatment options may be available so you and your baby can get healthy now. If you or someone you love is pregnant or thinking about getting pregnant and using alcohol, drugs, or tobacco, visit SoberMomsHealthyBabies.org or call 211 to find help today. SoberMomsHealthyBabies.org also has resources for healthcare providers, friends, and family. If you want to help someone who's pregnant and using, visit SoberMomsHealthyBabies.org or call 211 today. Sponsored by the Nevada Division of Public and Behavioral Health and in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
1015 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
And let's get back to it here. The best in pro wrestling news and entertainment here in Las Vegas and around the world. Stu Myrick joining me. Always very happy to have him, of course, from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling out of Austin, Texas. By the way, he's got an interview with Dustin Rhodes coming up on his show this week, so you want to make sure you check that out because Dustin's awesome. Man.
He is. He's fantastic. We will talk about, we talk a little Forbidden Door. In fact, and I'll divulge this, he was the coach for the main event, for Strickland and Will Ospreay. He coached them.
Well, he did a darn good job.
He did. And also, and I'll plug this as well. So, I'm the lead voice for the Rhodes Wrestling Academy here in Austin, suburb of Austin, Leander. And we had Star Bash, which was kind of an all-star showcase with some of the best graduates from the Rhodes Wrestling Academy. That will premiere next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. You'll be on the Rhodes Wrestling Academy YouTube channel, so make sure you search it out. I'm on the call. 5 matches, including a tag team bunkhouse match, which was created by his father, and it will involve his nephews, the newest chapter of the Rhodes legacy, Wayne and Wyatt, the Texas Outlaws.
Nice.
Oh, and I have an interview with them as well.
Very cool. Well, make sure you guys check that out. So what was the site again, Stu?
The Star Bash next Sunday on the Rhodes Wrestling Academy YouTube channel. The 2 interviews with Dustin and with Wayne and Wyatt, those will be on the Sports Guys Talking Wrestling YouTube channel Tuesday night.
All right. So make sure you check that out. Rhodes Wrestling Academy. I'm going to check that out for sure. We'll take a look. Well, Mr. Rhodes did a pretty good job setting up that main event at Forbidden Door. As long as everybody could hang in there for the other 14 matches you had to watch to get through it. That was a long day.
It was. I mean, and in fact, he and I talked about a little bit. He felt it was a little long. Adding the Kyle Fletcher and Serpentico match, the only thing I could figure was because Kyle Fletcher lost the Ring of Honor TV title in Mexico at I think it was a AAA show. So maybe they wanted to give him a little FaceTime. I don't know. It wasn't one of those things that was really hanging on a story. So I'm trying to figure out why else would they put a 5th match on the pre-show?
Yeah. I wonder if part of it is, I'm sure everybody's getting bonuses too for being on these pay-per-views. And I wonder if Tony's just being nice. That is that a possibility that he's just like, look, you guys get bonuses if you're on the pay-per-views, and I'm trying to be cool and give you guys extra money. Is that a thought?
I wouldn't put it past Tony. I don't know. I'll be honest. I really don't know because, again, you had of course 2 trios matches with the Elite and what was it?
And the Acclaimed and
Tanahashi. And then you also had the what was it? 6-man
Joe, Hook, Shibata, and
that's right, and the
Tree, Jeff Cobb.
Tree, right? So I don't know. I don't get it.
Well, you had that House of Black, that 4-way tag match in the pre-show too. I mean, probably 7 of these matches could have been on Dynamite and Collision. I mean, realistically,
I dare say, I think outside of Swerve and Ospreay, I think all of them could have been.
Wow. Well, there were some people crushing some of these matches too. I mean, there were some really good ones on there, and there were some ones that were,
well,
I don't know. I mean, overall it was a good card, but it's just, one thing I think I'd like Tony to realize at some point is, you have to first be emotionally invested in a match, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're not emotionally invested in it, it's just 2 people or 4 people going out there and doing a wrestling match. So you're gonna have people that are not the fans aren't that interested. So the crowd's dead. So that doesn't look good.
Yeah.
You know, that's a problem when you have dead spots for a crowd. But then you're taking people on such a roller coaster all the way through, and you're doing it for 5 hours. You know, the average people can't handle that.
No.
You know, so even if you have a great match at match 13, you know, it's everybody's just exhausted. You know, there's only so much you can take. So it's kind of a double whammy there. It's either, you know, if either A, you don't care, or B, you're just tired. You know, it's just a bad look. And, you know, maybe that's part of the reason sometimes people are saying, well, the crowd's dead or not quite into it. Well, you know, you're taking them too many places too long, and that's got to make it hard for everybody. And then it shows to the audience. And then, you know, when if you're watching this at home, you're saying, well, those people don't care. Why should I care? And then it kind of spreads to everything. So, you know, I think this is a big problem they've got to fix.
So on my show, I had Mike Supervivi on from Wrestling Observer Live, he's one of the best guys I know that covers Japanese wrestling. And something we talked about was the simple fact, look, as fun as the matches are, as fun as, you know, we see what we see on Dynamite, Rampage, whatever, AEW product is cold right now. New Japan product is cold right now. We also saw, you mentioned Tanahashi, and look, I love Tanahashi. I got to meet him in 2018 when he was at Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor in New Orleans. Got a liner from him, by the way, which is really cool. I love Hiroshi Tanahashi. He needs to retire. I hate to say that, but it was so evident in that trios match with the Acclaimed. He can barely move. I mean, he's fallen in the same thing that Keiji, you know, had to deal with his knees being practically gone. Tanahashi's getting that same way.
Yeah.
Same thing with Naito.
Yep.
Moxley and Naito. Look, and
that match
Dustin,
was not good.
And Dustin even mentioned, you know, he talked about it. It wasn't. And Mox did everything he could, but, you know, again, New Japan has got to start bringing up these young guys quick. And that's Shota Umino. That's Ren Narita. You know, they got to get them they got to get those guys in the main event spot. You got the G1 that's kicking off. We got 6 months until, you know, Wrestle Kingdom, and then they announced this Wrestle Dynasty on January 5th with AEW, Ring of Honor, CMLL, and Stardom. They got to get these young guys up and quick if they want to, you know, bring that fan base back. And it was evident at Forbidden Door. You know, it was a pagan.
Yeah. And I think, and you speaking of the problem New Japan has there, that boy, you gotta wonder if Tony is paying too much respect to the legends and by booking them on these cards at this point. But then at the same time, now what do you do next year? Let's say you kind of start sliding these guys off to the side. Well, now you've got all these younger guys that are going to be coming up that the American fans just aren't going to know who they are. They're not going to know them. Yeah. And you're not going to have a lot of time to develop the stories that you're going to need. And the thing is, part of the fascination with Forbidden Door in the first place was you were getting guys like Okada in there. And, you know, so just a couple of names. Trying to think who else I'm totally blanking.
That's okay.
Like Shibata and Takeshita, like those guys, you know, it's like, oh my God, they're here. Well, now they're in AEW.
Yes.
So the fascination of them coming over is gone because they're in AEW now.
Yes.
So what do you do with this, with Forbidden Door at this point? It's because really there's no Forbidden Door with CMLL or anything like that. So this card is going to be really tricky next year when they try to put this together, I think.
Not enough fans know like Mystico from CMLL or Hechicero or any of those guys. You know, almost everybody's forgotten when Mystico was in WWE. Well, I don't even remember what his name was, but it was. You're right. The big stars in New Japan, Ospreay, Okada, Shibata. Now they're in AEW. We see them every week on Dynamite, on Rampage, on Collision. So yeah, that thrill is gone.
Mm-hmm.
As I mentioned, Tanahashi he's got to find a way to step away. Naito, I think, might be in the same boat. So then, like you said, what happens when they start, planning Forbidden Door next year? Hopefully with the younger guys. And look, Shingo is still Shingo. Ishii is still. He's not bad.
Yeah, he's starting to lose a step. But
he is.
Yeah, Shingo was great. The match with Danielson and Shingo was amazing. That was a terrific match.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, this is going to be a trick. And the other thing is that I'm kind of surprised they're doing a card over in Japan too. I suppose it's kind of tit for tat over there, but at the same time, now you're really taking away from what made Forbidden Door special because you're doing it over there too. So it's the uniqueness of the card is gone a little bit. I mean, I get it. Don't get me wrong, I get it.
You got to give
it. At the same time, you're doing it twice.
Right?
Don't do the same gag twice.
Well, but at least this one will be mostly under the New Japan banner.
Right.
So this isn't necessarily an AEW pay-per-view. It's a New Japan event. But they're going to include Stardom, CMLL, AEW, Ring of Honor. So, yeah, that's it. And it was, it was asked, I think it was asked in the press conference. Tony asked, I think at one time, we've had Forbidden Door here. This was number 3, I think. When does Japan get an event with AEW stars? Well, here we go.
There you go.
But it's so funny they're using the Wrestle Dynasty. That was actually the name of an event they were going to do in August of 2020 at Madison Square Garden before the pandemic hit.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Hold on.
Oh, Stu's digging for something here. Stu's got a souvenir. Stu Myrick, everybody. There it is.
That was the button. That was the button for Wrestle Dynasty that was going to be in Madison Square Garden in August. That was right after G1 Supercard happened in 2019 at the Garden, which I got to cover, which was fantastic. So yeah, they're bringing back the Wrestle Dynasty thing. Now they get to have it in Japan. So I'm okay with that, but
we'll see how it turns out. So
I mean, the kicker is going to be how they figure out that card after doing Wrestle Kingdom. Who do they put on Wrestle Kingdom from AEW? Because they usually have
a couple, yeah.
So how do they balance that and still keep Wrestle Kingdom the premier event for New Japan?
Yeah. Now, welcome to the world of crossovers. That everybody wanted the crossovers, but now when you have a cross promotion matches and you're bringing in guys from different places. How do you work all this out? There's booking and logistical issues that everybody needs to take into account. And it sounds fun and it's nice to do it as a one-time thing. But as you dig deeper into this, you keep doing it and crossing those lines more and more, it gets way more intricate than anybody realizes. So this will be some intriguing tests for everybody putting all these relationships together. And now, actually, as for the Forbidden Door pay-per-view, just kind of running down through some of these matches. Interesting wrap up with the ladies, with Toni Storm and Shirakawa, who did a great job. And I think that whole storyline with them and Mariah May came out all cute. That was fun. I think people enjoyed it.
It was cute. The build was confusing to me, but the end was cute.
Yeah, so all 3 girls going home together. Well, congratulations. Whatever floats your boat on that. Danielson and Takagi had a really good match. That was a blast. Zack Sabre and Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy reminds us once again he can wrestle.
And and do it well.
Yes. And Zack Sabre is still that one mystery guy, still waiting for Tony to get his claws into him. But I almost wonder if Zach's going to, when his contract's over, he's going to end up at WWE. I don't know if Triple H is going to make the same mistake twice and let somebody like that get away. But Zack Sabre's pretty darn good.
Well, the kicker is going to be, does Zack Sabre Jr. want to leave the UK? That's
True.
going to be the big. That's going to be the big deal as to, can when his New Japan contract is up, can, whether it's Tony Khan or Triple H, Nick Khan, can they make the deal sweet enough for him to leave the UK and move to the United States?
Yeah, but he is so amazing. I mean, I was there when he wrestled Bryan Danielson, and that match was just something like I'd never seen. Absolutely phenomenal. And by the way, we're on the Mark Hoke Show here with Stu Myrick, sitting in with me as we go through. We're going to be talking. We're talking Forbidden Door right now, and we're going to get into WWE Money in the Bank as we roll through the show today. I want to thank you for being with us. And by the way, if you're in the chat box and you have a comment, we'd love to hear from you. So I know there's people in there, so say hi and let us know what you think. Jack Perry, the scapegoat, not a shock, wins the TNT championship, but I am excited that at least Mark Briscoe got his licks in, and now he's going to be in the Blood and Guts match, taking these guys on. Oh man, I would love to see Mark Briscoe get a title in AEW other than, a Ring of Honor title. That would be cool. I was hoping Briscoe would win this just because of everything that's happened, but I'm okay with a Jack Perry Mark Briscoe feud.
Well, you got the Elite getting stronger, more gold comes to the Elite, but at the same time, Mark Briscoe, and he's one of my favorites. I love Mark to death, and I mean, and I'm happy that he is the current Ring of Honor World Champion. I would love to see him get some AEW gold on top of that. Now he's the first one on Team AEW for this Blood and Guts match in a week and a half. We'll see who else. We'll see who he surrounds himself with on that team. Plus, the Elite have to find a fifth. They thought they had one with Hangman Adam Page when he came back, but apparently that's not happening. So let's see who they get for a fifth to combat whoever is going to be on Team AEW.
I'll carry a bag of thumbtacks for Briscoe.
There you go.
I'll do that. I'll do that for him. But an interesting one with Mercedes Moné and Stephanie Vacour. Mercedes is getting booed out of the buildings lately. And of course, Dr. Britt Baker shows up, and eventually she revealed she had a mini stroke, which would explain a lot of why she was out. Of course, she had all sorts of injuries and stuff and terrible problems with her back and hip. But that mini stroke would explain the 10-month absence as opposed to her only being out for a few months. But Mercedes has a problem, I think. I think everybody's a little surprised that she is not getting the reception that everybody. I'm not, because I figured something with that. Look, she interacted well with the Four Horsewomen, but on her own, I wasn't sure. And now she's getting some. I'm not sure if it's the nuclear heat or if it's go away heat. I don't know, Stu.
I think it's a mix of both, quite honestly. This when she came in AEW, look, she's been signed with AEW for what, 4 months, and they just now had her first match, or back at not Forbidden Door, their last pay-per-view.
Waited too long.
It's I don't know, and her build, her character in AEW. This isn't Sasha Banks. She's put that behind her, for better or for worse. Now, part of the heat on Forbidden Door, it got spurned on. Apparently, there was a fan ringside that had a Celtics jersey on.
Yeah.
They're in New York, so of course they're booing the hell out of the Celtics. Then they figure out, hey, Mercedes Moné's from Boston. Let's boo her. So there was that. But look, she has not made the splash that I think Tony definitely was hoping for, and I think a lot of people were thinking it would happen. Her journey in New Japan got derailed with the ankle injury. She was out on the shelf for close to a year. It's
And
I'm not thrilled about her.
I think they rushed this whole thing with her too. I mean, I think she should have wrestled a little bit more. It's just, look, I'm not in the room, as I like to say, but she should have wrestled a couple matches before she did. And then you put her against Willow Nightingale, which, would have been a nice feud down the road, but then you put her right in the heel position because everybody loves Willow.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden you're going to put her right up against Dr. Britt Baker returning, with her return. I think they should have taken a little more time with her. Plus, this, to me, putting the TNT title on her she's someone that should be fighting for the world title. And now all of a sudden, and now you've also created a situation where now you've got Dr. Britt Baker, who should be fighting for the world title, is going after the TNT title too. And what's going to happen to Toni Storm? Who's going after Toni Storm now? You got it's going to be Mariah May and Willow. Okay, so Willow's going up, but now you almost have a tier where who's the better champion? And it's weird. I mean, it's the roster is getting stronger, but is it? I don't know. It's an odd dynamic as to who's where on the card.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
It is. I don't get it. I get. You want the New Japan Strong Women's title on Mercedes. It was intended for her to begin with, and if she doesn't injure her ankle against Willow, she does win that title. We get it. But yeah, at the same, and you mentioned Britt Baker. Look, between Britt Baker and Adam Cole, dear Lord, what they have gone through in the last couple of years with injuries and the mini stroke and everything. I understand their passion to wrestle, to be in front of that crowd, but man, with what they have gone through, it wouldn't have shocked me in the least, and I would have absolutely said absolutely if they decided, you know what, enough is enough.
Yeah.
And step away. But I get it. And we still haven't seen Adam Cole come back yet.
No.
Like you said, just now, Britt Baker coming back. It is a little bit of a cloudy situation with the women's division, with the world title and the TBS title. But yeah, they'll sort that out. I guess, they've got, 6-7 weeks between now and All In London. Then a couple more weeks after that with All Out in Chicago.
Yeah, it's a very intriguing situation. So we'll see how this all turns out. And we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the Owen Hart situation with the Owen Hart Cup and Swerve and, of course, Will Ospreay in that main event. And then we'll get to hour number 2. We're going to take a hard look at that Money in the Bank card last night. Plus, we're also going to talk a little bit about that WrestleMania Behind the Curtain special that WWE put together. That was intriguing. Stick around, everybody. Stu Myrick and me, Mark Hoke, will be right back.
Keep it twisted all year long with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Twisted Tea is real iced tea that packs a punch with 5% alcohol. Tastes great at the beach, the mountains, or even in your backyard. Look for the bright yellow Twisted Tea cans. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Celebrate July 4th with the hottest deals at Lowe's. Right now, get 2 select 2 or 2.5 quart red, white, and blue annuals for $10. And buy 2, get 1 free on select paint and exterior stain via Lowe's gift card rebate. Shop these deals before they're gone, because Lowe's knows summer savings. Valid through 7/10. Annuals offer in-store only. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. Paint. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details while supplies last.
They say health is wealth, and I could not agree more. That's why if you or somebody in your life is living with everyday aches and pains, I want to tell you about Relief Factor. And I'm telling you, I can feel the difference. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. Naturally. Now that's a big deal. Developed by doctors. Relief Factor's unique formula of ingredients all work together to help support your body's response to inflammation. Instead of masking pain for a couple of hours, Relief Factor actually helps reduce or even eliminate your pain for good. Whether it's neck, back, joint, or muscle pain, if you're looking to feel better, live better, give Relief Factor a try. In 3 weeks, you will know if it's working because you'll feel it. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Save on your first order. Don't let pain tell you how to live. Fight back naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
Do you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes? Good news. There's a new way out. It's called the Fresh Start Initiative. Call U.S. Tax Shield, A+ rated with the BBB, 800-391-5063 for your free consultation and let U.S. Tax Shield protect you from the IRS.
This message is sponsored by Adult Protective Services, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station. Unseen, unreported, and ignored, the abuse of vulnerable adults affects more people than you realize. Abandonment, abuse, neglect, exploitation, isolation. What you don't see hurts more. What they experience hurts every day. What they need is a voice. What they need is you. Help stop the abuse of vulnerable adults. Visit nevada211.org/APS or call 888-729-0571. This PSA is supported by the Administration for Community Living, ACL, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, as part of a financial assistance award totaling $2,168,764 with 100% funding by ACL HHS. The contents are those of the author and do not necessarily represent the official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL HHS or the U.S. government.
1015 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Mark Hoke Show. It's the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment coming at you here on KDAWN 1015 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. Also streaming on the Odyssey app. If you have not downloaded the Odyssey app, well, we would certainly appreciate it if you would do that. You can take us anywhere on the road and, of course, enjoy all sorts of terrific shows, not just ours, here on KDAWN and, well, pretty much everywhere in the Odyssey family. So download that app right now, AUDACY. And, of course, we're streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X. And we would certainly appreciate if you take a second to click on that subscribe button on YouTube. That means the world to us. We would certainly enjoy that. And, just make us happy today. It's Sunday, 4th of July. Celebrate with independence with the Mark Hoke Show. USA, USA. I don't know if that's going to work, but let's give it a shot. We got Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, does an unbelievable podcast down there in Austin, Texas. Happy to have Stu along for the ride. And of course, got all that wrestling memorabilia in the background. If you were watching the live stream, you'd see that. But Stu, having an awesome day with us. Thank you for joining us, sir.
By the way, congratulations, Lewis Hamilton winning the British Grand Prix. His first win in 3 years.
Trying to kill ratings.
I'm sorry. I had
It's
to.
okay.
It is. I am Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, so I do sports.
All right.
And I've covered F1, so you know. But
Great.
it was cool to see him on top of the podium, you know, especially in his home race. So cool.
Yeah, that is cool. That is cool. Well, we'll be seeing those guys out here in Las Vegas the week before Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm. The month after they're here in Austin, which, by the way, talk about it's going to be a busy weekend in Austin. The weekend that Formula One comes to Circuit of the Americas, that Saturday, the day before the race, Georgia Bulldogs, Texas Longhorns at DKR Texas Memorial Stadium.
Oh, there you go.
SEC battle. That is so weird to say now.
Oh,
Texas is now in the SEC, but so yeah, it's going to be a little nuts here in the ATX.
There you go. Sounds like a great time down there. So we had a main event with Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay, and Swerve going over. Will Ospreay had a little issue with Don Callis trying to get him to be a bad boy, and Will wouldn't do it. But so Swerve remains the world champion. Looks like he will be headed into All In with the world championship. And this is going to be very intriguing in that now the winner of the Owen Hart tournament gets the world title shot, and it is down to Bryan Danielson and Hangman Adam Page. And I said, look, I would let Danielson win the world title at All In just to give him a little boost, get a little extra mainstream publicity. You can put it back on Swerve a little bit after it's over. That's great, even though it'd be a huge win for Swerve, obviously, to pull that off. But now Hangman's coming up through here as we kind of expected he was going to get into this tournament. But is Swerve and Hangman going to be that main event? And if so, is that the right call, Stu?
Let's see. First question, is that going to be the main event? Something tells me it is, because that's a story that hasn't been finished yet. Forgive the pun. We now have an angry Hangman Adam Page as opposed to the moody or whatever.
Thank God. By the
I'm
way,
with you. I would love to give Bryan Danielson a world title run. This is his final year as a full-time in-ring competitor, so why not? But I have a feeling Hangman Adam Page will make it to All In. He's going to face Swerve. They announced, I don't know if it was on YouTube or on social media, Jeff Jarrett's going to be the special guest enforcer for that Owen Hart tournament final match. Of course, the relationship that he had with Owen.
And an unbelievable promo before the tournament started.
Wonderful. And then look, I love Jeff Jarrett to death. He's been on my show several times. A wonderful man. So I root for Jeff Jarrett when I can. But yeah, I got a feeling it's going to be Hangman and Swerve. It would not shock me if they put the world title back on Hangman. I don't think that's the right call.
No, I think if you have that match, you got to keep it on Swerve then. I think you have to keep going with Swerve.
Yeah, you got to keep building with Swerve. Absolutely. Have Swerve get a signature win at All In. The funny thing is, now they have now they have 2 weeks between All In and All Out, as opposed to last year when it was back to back. I'm not so sure you do a world title match at All Out. If only because the All In, it's going to be the main event. We know that, it's going to be a banger. I'm not sure you do the world title at All Out. Maybe have him handy or put him in a multi-man match, tag team, trios, whatever. But I'm not sure you do a world title match at All Out in Chicago.
Well, I'll give Tony a little idea if he hasn't thought of it yet, because I have been pushing for, if Danielson loses this, I've been pushing for this match. Let's have Nigel McGuinness jump out of the booth and cost Bryan Danielson this match and get him in the ring at All In. I have seen Nigel a couple times when he was here in Las Vegas before these two events, and I said, you got to do it. You got to do it. It's time. And I'm going to tell you what, if that match happened at All In, the place would go berserk. Then I would be okay.
Yeah.
And my prophecy would be fulfilled and I would be in heaven. So I'm all right with that one. That would be fun.
I'm okay with that. He was a phenomenal wrestler when he was in the ring. I know he is good at commentary. Now, I am one of those guys. I am not a fan of heel commentators. If for no other reason, if wrestling is supposed to be a sport, you don't see a bad guy commentator in the NFL. I mean, unless you hate Troy Aikman. You don't see a bad guy commentator in the NBA, Major League Baseball, Formula One, soccer. Why do it in wrestling? And especially Nigel. He does a fine job with commentary, but good God, there are times when, he is spouting off. He is either just, borderline in love with Christian Cage or the vitriol that he spews about Bryan Danielson, and I just have to roll my eyes.
Maybe they've been setting it up all along. Maybe. All right. Well, that's going to wrap hour number 1 here on the Mark Hoke Show. Stu Myrick's going to be sticking around for hour number 2 as we get ready to break down WWE Money in the Bank. And what a fun but weird night it was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how else to describe it. And Stu's going to try and help me put it up from a C- to maybe a B+. We're going to give it a shot. So once again, please give us a follow on X at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show. Subscribe to us on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show. We're going to be back for hour number 2 here on KDAWN. So stick around, everybody. We'll be right back.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join the Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
That's the sound of steak searing in its juices on your new pellet grill. You heard that right. The Weber Searwood Pellet Grill can smoke low and slow at 180 degrees all the way to a high heat sear at 600. With the Weber Searwood, you can cook on the direct flame over the full grate sear zone. You'll hear the gasp of amazement from friends and family when you serve the food. Cooking with the Weber Searwood Pellet Grill just sounds delicious and tastes even better.
Celebrate July 4th with savings at Lowe's. For a limited time, save on the essentials you need to make your garden pop for summer, like Miracle-Gro 25-quart potting mix. Get 2 bags for just $16 and get up to 40% off, plus save an extra $50 on every $500 you spend on select major appliances. Hurry, these deals won't last long because Lowe's knows summer savings. Valid through 7/10. Miracle-Gro excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Appliance savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusion supply. See Lowe's.com for more details. While supplies last.
Ready for your next vacation? Not so fast. Before you hit the road, remember these healthy habits to keep yourself and others safe and sanitary. Wash your hands after using the restroom, before eating and after blowing your nose. Sanitize airplane seats and tray tables. Sneeze or cough into a tissue or your elbow. And avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands. Lastly, make sure you're up to date on all your routine vaccines, including the COVID-19 vaccine. It's also important to get tested when necessary, such as if you develop COVID-19 symptoms before, during, or after travel. If you will be traveling to visit someone who is at a higher risk of getting very sick from COVID-19, or if you're in a situation with a greater risk of exposure during travel. Pack these tips on your next adventure. And remember, travel safely, Nevadans. This message is sponsored by a CDC grant through the Nevada Department of Health and Human Services, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Join the Vegas Chamber today. Being a member of the Vegas Chamber sends a powerful message of credibility and that your business is connected to a larger community of organizations dedicated to ensuring Nevada is a great place to live, work, and do business. Joining the Vegas Chamber and becoming part of the largest business organization in Nevada has never been easier. Grow your business within your budget. Visit vegaschamber.com and join today. Sponsored by the Vegas Chamber in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Did you know you can stream Fox News Radio on the free Odyssey app? Just download the free Odyssey app and search for Fox News Radio to hear the voices you trust. Brian Kilmeade.
Why are we so scared of Iran thinking they were at war with them?
Guy Benson.
Get the bleep out of here. It's disgusting.
Jimmy Fela.
Then this administration rolled into town with a checkbook.
Are all on the free Odyssey app. From the news and talk to keep you informed and up to date during election season. Listen to Fox News Radio on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
KMXP HD3 K268CS Las Vegas. Always live on the free Odyssey app. 1015 FM KDAWN.
A Gaza ceasefire deal could be at hand. I'm Jack Callahan, Fox News. A Hamas official and an Egyptian mediator say Hamas has tentatively approved a U.S.-backed phased ceasefire proposal for Gaza, dropping the demand for Israel to commit up front to ending the war completely. The compromise could pause the fighting for the first time since last November and pave the way for more talks, though the deal isn't guaranteed yet. President Biden in his home state of Pennsylvania today, attending service at the Mount Airy Church of God in Christ in Philadelphia, as the list of Democratic leaders calling for him to drop out of the presidential race is growing.
What started as a drip of Democratic lawmakers calling on the president to step aside could turn into a broken dam when Congress returns from July 4th recess tomorrow. NBC reporting more than half a dozen Democrats in Congress described the president's political situation in stark terms, including heartbroken, doomed, and a disaster. At least 5 House Democrats have already called for the president to drop out, afraid he could cause them to lose down-ballot races in November. And there is despair in the White House as well. Per the New York Times, one senior White House official who has worked with Mr. Biden during his presidency, vice presidency, and 2020 campaign said in an interview on Saturday morning that Mr. Biden should not seek re-election.
Fox's Madeline Rivera, the suspected drunk driver accused of killing 4 people driving into an Independence Day party in a Manhattan park, now facing manslaughter and vehicular homicide charges. Daniel Hayden arraigned yesterday. He faces at least 25 years behind bars if he's convicted. Police say he hit at least 11 people, including a child. A vigil for the victims will be held tonight at that park in Manhattan. Officials in Germany say they've found the American teenager who disappeared 3 days ago when he walked off a cruise ship after arguing with his grandmother. His family had feared he'd been lured away, but Princess Cruises says the 14-year-old is safe and sound. America's listening to Fox News.
Connect to Fox News Audio on the Fox News app. Listen to hear your favorite hosts like Brian Kilmeade, Jimmy Fallon, and Guy Benson standing up for what's right, live and via podcast. Just click listen, then swipe right and hear the latest news updates on your time. And scroll down to hear the latest podcasts from Fox News. And it's even easier to listen in the car with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Get programming alerts and notifications. Fox News Audio is on the Fox News app. The voices America trusts. Download it now. From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
I'm Ben Domenech, Fox News contributor and editor of the Transom.com daily newsletter, and I'm inviting you to join a conversation every week with the smartest thinkers out there about the issues Americans face and where we are going as a nation. This show will feature deep dive interviews with newsmakers and some of your favorite Fox News analysts. I hope you'll join me as we dive into the fray. It's the Ben Domenech Podcast.
Subscribe and listen now by going to foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you download podcasts.
Get your daily dose of news with a Fox News Rundown. A contrast of perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. Going far beyond the headlines. Tomorrow morning at 5 on 101.5 FM KDAWN.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
All right, let's get back to it as I beg Logan Paul for a sponsorship. The stuff's good. You guys drink this stuff, Prime? Stu, you drink Prime?
No.
You gotta try it.
I just because I'm not a Logan or Jake Paul fan, so
well, that's okay. You can still like Prime. It's a little sweeter tasting than Gatorade. It's pretty good.
Really?
Yeah. 25. This WWE bottle that I just happen to have in my hands that you may have seen on the show last night at WWE Money in the Bank. 25 calories.
Okay.
Pretty good stuff. But welcome back to the Mark Hoke Show. As I keep begging for money, I'll stop now. But best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. Thanks for joining us. Very happy to have you with us. I'm Mark Hoke. Thanks for being with us. Stu Myrick is here from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Great podcast. You can follow him at Stu Myrick on Twitter, as he was generous enough to give me time to sit in today. Always enjoy having Stu on the show. All right. So we got through Forbidden Door. We got through John Cena's retirement speech at Money in the Bank. Now let's take a look at what happened last night up there in Toronto. All my friends were goofing around up there, having a great time. All right. Men's Money in the Bank match kicks off the show, right? You would have made some money if you put money on Drew last night. I was begging for Drew to win that. I said that would be a great call. Let's let Drew run around with that briefcase and torture everybody for a while. So I wanted Drew to win the match. And I thought the match was pretty solid. And I am now ready for some Andrade and Carmelo Hayes matches, Stu. Are you ready for Andrade and Carmelo?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. They showed themselves well during the ladder match. I think that would be a good rivalry to, carry on till Cleveland in SummerSlam. I think that might be a good SummerSlam match with Andrade and Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah, Andrade needs something because I'll tell you what, when he came out, the crowd went. Psh. It was weird. It was unfortunately, it was one of the worst intros. It was just, they were so dead for him. I don't know what it is because the guy is so good, but he just can't seem to get everybody behind him. A great series of matches with somebody as popular as Carmelo Hayes. Boy, I'll tell you what, that would be. I mean, I could see a good long run with those two together.
Yeah,
they'd be able to do something really special. So, but they did not win. And of course, LA Knight did not win again. But of course, he's tied up with Logan Paul. So no worries there. Jey Uso loses again in another big match. Oh, and I feel so bad for Jey. I mean, it just seems like every time he's in a big match in WWE, they have him come up short. And I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't either. I wonder if maybe they're saving him. They want to reform the bloodline with Jimmy and Roman when Roman comes back. But yeah, it would have been nice to give Jey something. But look, I think everybody expected Drew McIntyre to win the briefcase. And you talk about, wanting to see Drew carry it around. He said that he was going to cash it in that night. And he did.
He did. I think. Oh man. Okay. Well, I'll save it. Drew wins the case, and we'll stop there for a minute. Then we get to the Intercontinental Championship match with Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker. And Braun looked outstanding. Sami wrestles another good match. I had a little beef with this match, though. It was the ending. If you think back to that, Braun was beating the crud out of Sami. And all of a sudden, Sami just pops up, bam, bam, and Sami wins the match. And I'm just like, Braun was just had him clobbered. And all of a sudden, somehow out of nowhere, Sami just puts two moves on him and the match was over. And it kind of took me out of that match because up until that point, it was a great match. And by the way, kudos to Braun for saving Sami not once, but twice, especially off that second. He did a moonsault off the barricade and Braun caught him about, I'll give him 6 inches off the ground before Sami did a square up head plant into the mat. That would have been on the floor. That would have been very bad. But your thoughts on that match? I'm curious to hear, Stu, because this is a piece that took me out a little bit.
It didn't take me out necessarily. I kind of agree with you. I would have liked to see Sami it would be a moment, just the right moment, the right time, catches Braun, double rollover or something like that, rather than what they did. I agree with keeping the title on Sami because I think there's a few more stories that he can tell. We can build Braun. They can build Braun more and have him go for a world title, whether it's Cody or Damian or whoever holds that world title. But yeah, I mean, the finish was a little hokey, but
thanks.
Sorry. I think I'm not as perturbed about it as you. Let's put it that way.
Well, here's my other issue with this too, is that they were really building Braun up to, I mean, this was almost like a Goldberg-y kind of build with him. And all of a sudden it stopped. And why not, instead of putting him in this match with Sami, why not keep that going for a while? let him just keep tearing people apart, because now you hung a loss on him. And, they were, I don't know. See, I guess I didn't have a problem with Sammy winning last night. I don't. And I don't want anybody to get me wrong about it. But I just feel like Braun was just looking like this invulnerable monster. And now you cut that run really short.
I don't think they would have done a Goldberg type run. I would have liked to see Sammy with a different opponent and have Braun with a different opponent. I thought trying to build Sammy and Braun felt a little out of place. But I'm not like I said, I think I see what they were trying to do. I think they could have gone about it a little differently. I don't think this loss will hurt Braun in any way. And in fact, post-match, they show Braun sitting, outside the ring, with that look on his face. Like, yeah, he made a mistake, or he got caught, So I think Braun will be fine, and they can keep building him. And again, like I said, I think eventually he needs to have a run at the world title.
Yeah, I agree. By the way, Bionic Scoop is in the chat box screaming my name. Thank you. I'll give him a scoop right back. Best photographers in wrestling out there. Pretty amazing. So got to say hi to Scoop. So you're starting to see the theme for me on this, by the way. The not quite-ish kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we get into this World Heavyweight Championship match, and oh boy, and it was going so well. It was going so well between Damian Priest and Seth Rollins. And then the pinfall that wasn't. And if you didn't see it, Seth Rollins had Damian Priest pinned, and the referee stopped the count. Just out and out stopped. For some reason, Priest did not kick out, did not move. And then shortly after that, and I actually deleted the tweet because I was dead wrong. But shortly after that, the lights came up, and then Drew McIntyre came running in with the case. But boy, Zapata, the referee, just if he would have done what is normal protocol, which is whatever happens, you go with it, and had put his hand down and said, "Here's the 3 count. Seth Rollins is the world champion." What a disaster that would have been. So I give Mike Zapata a lot of credit for having the common sense. And I don't know if somebody just because I don't know if they could have reacted in time and telling him through his earpiece, don't make that 3 count. Because I'm sure he knew what was probably going on, but still, had he made that 3 count, dear Lord, dear Lord, it would have upset 4 different storylines at once. So it looked really bad, but at the same time, he made the right call by not putting his hand down.
I think that's true. And maybe, yes, you're right. And I've talked to plenty of referees, and that's the thing. You're working, you call what you see. So yeah, when they go down, someone makes a pin attempt, maybe they're supposed to have a kick out of 2, but if that person doesn't kick out, well, guess what? Ref's going to count 3, and that's it. But at the same time, like you said, yeah, you would have definitely upset the apple cart, so to speak. So I get it. When Drew's music hits, first thing I said was, why now? Why not? Why not do like everybody else does and wait until the end of the match when whoever has won has been beaten down, then take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the logical thing. But no, Drew decided he wanted to play early.
A bad decision.
Oh,
here's another that's another piece of this puzzle. That was a terrible. Who makes that decision? Of course, he's angry and fired up, so Drew's not thinking straight.
Well, that's
we'll give him that.
And you had the ref bump after that. So it becomes a triple threat. Then you have the ref bump. Drew makes a visual 3 count. There's no ref.
Yep. So
and
then Punky Brewster comes in because of course it's no DQ.
And we talked about this on my show about certainly they wouldn't have Punk mess it up before a third time. They're going to put the title on Drew. That way, Seth can still challenge because see now Seth can't challenge because Damien's still the champion.
Yeah. So just and just to back up real quick, in case you didn't know the stipulations on the match and understand the calamity would have happened had Zabata made that 3 count. Seth Rollins was, if he lost the match, was unable to challenge for the world championship.
As long as Damien still works.
As long as Damien was the champion. If Damien had lost the match, Damien was out of Judgment Day. So Damien would have lost the match. He'd have been out of Judgment Day, and Seth Rollins would have been the world champion. So the match would have been over. So Drew would have been coming in if he was going to cash in the case. Well, now he'd have been cashing in on Seth, but the whole point of Punk coming in and screwing this all up was not only to make Drew mad, but to also make Seth mad because they had already had their jaw jacking when he came back, when Punk came back at Survivor Series. So there was a whole big tie-in, and that little tap would have just screwed up everything. Because then you would have had to advance the Judgment Day story because obviously they're going to blow up soon. They foreshadowed that on the show.
Yep.
And Seth would have been the world champion. Well, how do you deal with that? Because, that wouldn't have worked with Drew coming in. Why would Drew come in and go after Seth like that? Because then now you have a Money in the Bank case with Drew. Does Drew knock off Seth? Does CM Punk stop? Does CM Punk stop Drew from beating Seth? And now Seth is the world champion going into SummerSlam and taking on Gunther. I mean, it would have been a calamity. So yeah. So
I think it was now the Seth Rollins thing and Michael Cole and Corey Graves put it over as collateral damage.
Yeah.
So I think there was, I don't know if it was intended that way, but
I think it was.
It happened.
Yeah.
Now, why Drew wouldn't cash in on, or why would Drew cash in on Seth? Pure and simple. Drew beat Seth at WrestleMania, and if Punk doesn't screw him over, Drew's probably still the world champion. So he wanted to prove he can beat him again. So it makes sense. The Punk thing, I mean, I laughed. I was laughing because, like I said, I'm thinking surely not going to have Punk do it a third time, and then here he comes, and there he goes, and then Damien hits the South of Heaven choke slam. 1, 2, 3. Damien's still the world champion. So I thought it was hilarious. It was just one of those things made me laugh.
And, and I feel bad for Damien too, because people are going to be tearing him apart for what happened that he didn't kick out on that whole thing. And people have been kind of up and down on his world championship reign so far anyway. And now he's going to get saddled with this too. And I'm curious to know why he didn't kick out. And I think my theory on it was the music was probably supposed to hit and everybody was supposed to stop and go, "Oh my God, here comes Drew."
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't happen.
That wouldn't surprise me at all. And I wonder why people look, Damian Priest is a fantastic in-ring performer.
Oh, yes.
I mean, he's so good. He's got the look, the facial expressions. And I've been a fan of him going all the way back to when he was Punishment Martinez in Ring of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
I've met him several times, and I was thrilled when he won the world titles just because it was it was vindication. It was validation of what he had gone through, taking a chance on himself. So I don't get this. I don't get this like doubting Damian Priest, other than, I guess they're thinking it's going to be, an avenue towards breaking up the Judgment Day. And you mentioned, yes, it was foreshadowed. We saw the look on Finn Balor in that little vignette in the Judgment Day clubhouse, so to speak. So, and now Damian Priest has got to, face Gunther at SummerSlam. But yeah, I think Damian Priest is a fine world champion.
Yeah. Now, it was funny when we had Matt Black on from WrestleZone a couple weeks ago. His comment about that match is, who cares about that? Nobody wants to see Damian Priest and Gunther. And to a point, I understand his comment, because that one's like, it just seems so thrown in. And that's part of the reason that I hated the stipulation about King of the Ring getting a world title shot, because does it make sense even having Gunther in this mess right now? I mean, when you think about it, wouldn't have been more fun to have one of these three guys, either Seth, Drew, or Punk, in this world title picture, as opposed to now you've got Gunther in this mess, and I don't want to see Gunther take a loss. It doesn't make any sense for him to pile on. So now if Gunther wins this world title, all these guys are out, because no one's beaten Gunther once he gets that belt for a while. That's for sure.
Well, but I think that's what's intended, or at least a lot of people think Gunther will win the world title at SummerSlam. That's been talked about for quite a long time, and especially after he drops the IC title to Sami Zayn. I think a lot of people do expect Gunther to be the world champion. So, now, and you mentioned it, Gunther is almost unbeatable. Now, we know there have been, they mentioned yesterday, 3 people in WWE that have beaten Gunther, and that's Sami Zayn, Ilya Dragunov, and Braun Breaker. So, I guess you could do an unbeatable world champion, have him go for, I don't know, a year or so. But, I think there are those that expect Gunther to win the world title at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I can't see him losing the match, but I suppose it's possible. I'd imagine the Finn Balor screw job is coming up here at SummerSlam, so that'll pull Damian away, because he's going to have to end up fighting with Finn Balor and the boys after that's done.
Mm-hmm.
But that's going to be intriguing, because I'm guessing here, but I think they're trying to get all the way back to Seth and CM Punk again, like they were planning at WrestleMania last year. But I don't want to see Gunther be collateral damage and all that, which is why I just think he should have been left out of it. Let him lurk, and it would have been fun to maybe go Cody Cody and Gunther. But I don't know. There's a lot of intriguing stuff happening.
Yeah.
As over the next 6 months, this will be a fun run to WrestleMania for sure. We got to take a break, and we come back. We're going to talk about that women's Money in the Bank match and that wild 6-man match. Some issues, more issues. Maybe I'm overreacting. I'll let Stu try to set me straight again. He's doing a good job so far. He's helping me out, giving over my Money in the Bank anxiety. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM. It's the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. Stick around. We got a whole lot more coming up.
The wait is over. Dell Technologies Black Friday and July deals are live. Check out incredible savings on select laptops and more, like the XPS 15, powered by Intel Core processors. The XPS 15 brings you the perfect balance of power and portability, plus stellar visuals and immersive sound. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to exceptional tech and electronics, plus free shipping on everything. Don't miss out on Black Friday and July savings at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Lowe's knows owning a project means owning the right tools. And during Craftsman Days, you can save big on what you need from a brand you trust. Get a free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select battery 2-pack. Plus, get your choice of the V20 string trimmer or leaf blower for only $99. Find these savings and more today. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 7/10 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
As you know, summer is right around the corner, and for most people, that means more activities, more golf, more biking, more of whatever you love to do. But if you're dealing with aches and pains, your more could become less. This is why I'm here to tell you about Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. You see, instead of masking your pain, Relief Factor's formula is designed to help reduce or even eliminate it. It's 100% drug-free. And it's been a game changer for so many people. So let's get after it this summer. Let's feel good. Let's do more of the things that we love to do. Don't let pain keep you down. Give Relief Factor a try and save on your first order. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4RELIEF. Help fight pain naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
You're pregnant, and no matter what you do, no matter what you try, you can't stop using alcohol, drugs, or tobacco. But no matter how lost you are, how far along you are, it's not too late. There's always hope, and there are many safe places that can help you stop using. In Nevada, pregnant women are given the highest priority for substance use treatment. Low-cost treatment options may be available so you and your baby can get healthy now. If you or someone you love is pregnant or thinking about getting pregnant and using alcohol, drugs, or tobacco, visit SoberMomsHealthyBabies.org or call 211 to find help today. SoberMomsHealthyBabies.org also has resources for healthcare providers, friends, and family. If you want to help someone who's pregnant and using, visit SoberMomsHealthyBabies.org or call 211 today. Sponsored by the Nevada Division of Public and Behavioral Health and in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
1015 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
And we're back on the Mark Hoke Show as we continue hour number 2. Best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate all of you listening, no matter what the outlet is, be it on the Odyssey app, whether you're tuning in here on X, Facebook, or YouTube, or of course on 1015 FM, the Talk of Las Vegas, making us the top rated live show on our station. We certainly do appreciate that. And occasionally, knocking on the door of the number one show in the time slot. Just got to get over Casey Kasem. Stu, I got to beat Casey. We talked about that. I'm going to get him.
Battling someone that has been dead for several years. Okay, sure.
I got to do it. But yeah, we're having a great time here talking pro wrestling. Of course, Money in the Bank, wrapping up our discussion on that. And we had the ladies' Money in the Bank ladder match last night. And Tiffany Stratton is your new Ms. Money in the Bank, and she's going to be bedazzling that cute little case. That should be fun.
And paint it pink.
Yeah, it's going to be pink, which is cool. I'm down. But
why not?
But Tiffany Stratton, of course, and said at her press conference, she's going after Bailey. Looking forward to it. So that should be some quality entertainment. So cool. Tiffany Stratton winning the case.
Yeah, I mean I think that was expected, and the match was great. I mean, all 6 women, just laid it all out in the ring there. Some of those spots, Naomi doing the splits on the ladders, that was a little but yeah, that was a good match, and yeah, should be fun to watch Tiffy time with the briefcase.
Now I may go back and rewatch this. Look, I enjoyed most of the match. At the beginning, there were some missed spots that were just scary. I mean, there was one Zoe Stark, I remember, where she missed and caught her head on the end of that ladder.
Yeah.
Oh, that looked bad. I mean, there were a few others, and it got off to a little bit of a rocky beginning. But then the ladies really turned it up and cleaned everything up, and it looked good. I mean, Zoe with that bump with Io, Oh, that was a beautiful spot. I hope Zoe's feeling okay today because that looked like it hurt like a son of a gun. But
yeah, I agree. And I tell you what, I think Chelsea Green, her star rose a lot after that match. If for no other reason, she's just, so entertaining in the ring. I love the character. Chelsea Green is a fantastic performer, and I hope her stock is rising because I want to see more Chelsea Green.
she was funny, but she also demonstrated a toughness last night that I don't think she'd really had a chance to do so far in WWE. Because for those that hadn't really seen her perform lately, I mean, she's doing stuff in GCW and with her, with Matt and all sorts of crazy things that, I mean, she's a brutal performer. I mean, when she's called upon, she'll do just about anything. And then she took that fall off a top of a ladder outside the ring into two tables, and everybody was just like, wow, that was Chelsea Green. And like, everybody else that hadn't been just a casual WWE fan knew that was Chelsea Green, but she's just been running around like this little spoiled brat. And now I think everybody realized, hey, you know what? She can go. And I hope that helps her out tremendously. Is, I want to see the nasty Chelsea Green now. Yeah. I'm ready for it. It's about time.
I'm there with you.
Yeah. So her stock definitely went up last night for sure. But Tiffany Stratton will be running around skipping with a bedazzled pink briefcase. We'll see if she cashes in and if she's the one to knock off Bailey. But that would be fun if Nia Jax knocks off Bailey at SummerSlam and it's Tiffy time and Nia. Yikes. They're pals, but still.
Hey,
that would be a hell of a match.
That would be fun.
Yep. So we get to the final match of the night. Our Bloodline taking on Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton. Oh, man. I wanted to love this match. I really did. I did. I wanted to love this match. And there were some really cool spots in this match. Jacob Fatu, as expected, phenomenal performance. The stand-up after Randy Orton did the dangling DDT, perfect. I mean, Jacob is an athlete like very few people in pro wrestling, and I cannot wait for them to really, really continue to just let him roll. I mean, when he gets a match with Roman sometime, oh baby, it's going to be incredible. It's going to be absolutely incredible. But here's where I'm going to throw the stuff that I couldn't stand in this match.
Okay.
First off, that low blow spot that was blown, and Tongaloa. And I'm sorry, but the videos that were popping up on this were kind of funny. It was a really critical point in the match, and I feel bad that Tonga kind of missed it. But if you didn't see this, there was a spot where the referee had been knocked out, and it was looking like the good guys were going to take over, and Kevin Owens had Tama Tonga up and in the air, and Tonga came in and did a low blow, but the first one kind of missed, and the second one went a little long. And he actually punched Tama Tonga on the top of the head. It was pretty funny, but still, it was very visible in the middle of the ring, missed spot, kind of hurt. But my problem was the end. That referee took two huge bumps. He should have been dead, Stu.
Yes.
He was dead. But somehow, after the bad guys took over, in typical Bloodline fashion, they picked him up, and he just magically, boop, oh, he's all good, and goes in and counts a 3 count. I'm like, what?
They should have brought down a second referee for that.
Oh, because it just, I mean, I was enjoying the match. I thought, there's a lot of great stuff going on in there, but that ending just killed me. I'm like, how is this referee up? And you can see where I'm getting at, Stu. There was just a lot of little stuff that just pulled me out last night. Yeah, it was just a lot of little stuff.
I mean, look, the way the ending went through was what I expected. Bloodline goes over.
And Cody got pinned by
Cody gets pinned by
Solo.
Solo. Yes, they should have brought down a second referee, because I think his name's Jason Ayers. He was obliterated.
Yes.
So bring out the second referee. I get that. You mentioned Jacob Fatu. Oh my God, this guy.
Oh,
and look,
love him.
Anybody that watched Major League Wrestling, they know what he can do. Former world champion there, of course. He was the face of Contra Unit for so long. And I got to know him when MLW would come to Texas. They'd come to and go to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I got to know Jacob through that. So I'm thrilled that he's getting this exposure, and he is taking every bit of advantage of this, and he's showing out and he's showing everybody what he can do. And yeah, it's not going to be long before he is going to be one of those prime players at the top of the card. So I'm thrilled for Jacob. This was, we knew this was going to set up Cody and Solo probably at SummerSlam. There was a lot of questions about, okay, when does Roman come back? Because he's coming back.
Yeah.
I have it in my mind that Roman's father, Sika from the Wild Samoans, he passed away. And I know from, others, sometimes the best therapy is to dive into work.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking Roman comes back a little sooner than maybe it was expected. I wasn't expecting him back last night.
Yeah, they couldn't do it today because
it's
yesterday because the funeral was yesterday.
Right. And not just that, it's not Money in the Bank is a great event. It's not SummerSlam.
No.
And I think they find a way for Paul Heyman to emerge and bring out Solo, or bring out Roman. I think there could be a way. You got Cody versus Solo at SummerSlam. Cody gets over by the skin of his teeth. The Bloodline attack Cody. Here comes Randy Orton. Here comes Kevin Owens. They get obliterated. And then here comes Paul and Roman.
Mm.
And Solo gets that, Cena ghost look on his face. And then let's kick that off.
Yeah, that would be interesting. That would be very interesting. One other thing about this match that, and I think they got to be careful too, is they got to be a little bit careful with Tama and Tonga here, because one thing that I was a little disappointed about was, you already had Tonga outside the ring and the big spot of the match kind of missed, but man, Tama was taking a beating last night in that match too. And you got to be careful. You don't want to make these guys look bad. I mean, you're already elevating Jacob very highly. I mean, these are the Guerrillas of Destiny. This is one of the dominant tag teams in Japan for very long, which Michael Cole was putting over.
Yeah. Mention the name.
Yeah. Make sure you don't make these guys look like they're a couple of stooges. They're vicious and very talented. Yeah. So, I think they've got to watch how they're doing these matches, because you don't want to lower these guys down. I mean, because I don't think that match helped them last night.
I would like to see more tag matches with Tama and Tonga. I want to see the Guerrillas of Destiny together. Now, they're not going to call them Guerrillas of Destiny because that's a New Japan thing, but I think that might be the way to make sure they're still elevated, is to let them do tag matches, whether it's Cody and Kevin, or Kevin and Randy, or Cody and Randy, or bring in some other tag team, and let them show why they ruled the tag scene in New Japan for so long. Yeah, it was kind of a, like when Michael Cole said Gorillas of Destiny, I was like, oh, okay. It is definitely a new era. But yeah, I agree. You got to keep them kind of on a high level. It's going to be it, and I don't think there's too much worry about that. It's just simple that Jacob is just so talented.
Yeah,
you can't stop him.
Yeah, I got to see Jacob here wrestle Hammerstone, or was that against Hammerstone? God, now I'm blanking.
Well, they did that.
Yeah, it was against Karrion Kross. It was against Karrion Kross.
Okay,
and here in Las Vegas, when it was Kevin's first match after he'd gotten fired from WWE, and those two had an incredible match. But Scarlett actually co-redded him.
Mm-hmm.
Which was unreal. But you got to think about how both of those two had to execute that spot. That's how good Jacob Fatu is, that he made a code red with Scarlett look amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, just wow. I mean, he's an incredible performer. So look out for Jacob Fatu. But there is one other man that is looming out there, by the way, in this whole thing. And that's our buddy Dwayne The Rock. And we're going to talk about him and that little special that WWE put out behind the curtain for WrestleMania 40. And where is Dwayne going to play a role in all this? Because he's still looming. And did Dwayne make me happy or sad when I watched this show? I'll tell you when we come back. Stick around. Stu Myrick with me here on the Mark Hoke Show. We'll be right back.
Keep it twisted all year long with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Twisted Tea is real iced tea that packs a punch with 5% alcohol. Tastes great at the beach, the mountains, or even in your backyard. Look for the bright yellow Twisted Tea cans. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Celebrate July 4th with the hottest deals at Lowe's. Right now, get 2 select 2 or 2.5 quart red, white, and blue annuals for $10. And buy 2, get 1 free on select paint and exterior stain via Lowe's gift card rebate. Shop these deals before they're gone, because Lowe's knows summer savings. Valid through 7/10. Annuals offer in-store only. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. Paint. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details while supplies last.
They say health is wealth, and I could not agree more. That's why if you or somebody in your life is living with everyday aches and pains, I want to tell you about Relief Factor. And I'm telling you, I can feel the difference. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. Naturally. Now that's a big deal. Developed by doctors. Relief Factor's unique formula of ingredients all work together to help support your body's response to inflammation. Instead of masking pain for a couple of hours, Relief Factor actually helps reduce or even eliminate your pain for good. Whether it's neck, back, joint, or muscle pain, if you're looking to feel better, live better, give Relief Factor a try. In 3 weeks, you will know if it's working because you'll feel it. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Save on your first order. Don't let pain tell you how to live. Fight back naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt? Civic Tax Relief's special tax hotline can help you discover all the relief programs available for free.
Just call 800-841-0908. 800-841-0908.
This message is sponsored by Adult Protective Services, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station. Unseen, unreported, and ignored, the abuse of vulnerable adults affects more people than you realize. Abandonment, abuse, neglect, exploitation, isolation. What you don't see hurts more. What they experience hurts every day. What they need is a voice. What they need is you. Help stop the abuse of vulnerable adults. Visit nevada211.org/APS or call 888-729-0571. This PSA is supported by the Administration for Community Living, ACL. U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, as part of a financial assistance award totaling $2,168,764 with 100% funding by ACL HHS. The contents are those of the author and do not necessarily represent the official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL HHS or the U.S. government.
1015 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
All right, let's get back to it. Final segment of the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 1015 FM. Talk of Las Vegas. Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling down there in Austin, Texas, and he is sporting that burnt orange on the live stream.
Hey, by the way, I want to make a quick plug. Tonight, I also do commentary for a promotion here in Austin called Inspire After Death. We are celebrating our 11th anniversary.
Hey, there you go.
With Terror Comes to Ecstasy of Gold. It'll be tonight, 6 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Pacific on Independent Wrestling TV, IWTV, from the Empire Control Room Garage on East 7th Street in downtown Austin. Great card. Sumi Sakai, the former Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, will be on the card. Kevin Knight from TNA, NWA great. He'll be on the card as well. So hope you'll check it out on IWTV. Inspire After Death. Terror Comes to Ecstasy of Gold.
Yeah, just be careful inviting Danny Limelight down there. He's bringing his daughter around.
He goes to Houston or Texas City. He goes to Booker T's Reality of Wrestling quite a bit.
Yeah, watch out because little Lisi was causing trouble and helped him win the FSW title.
Yeah,
here a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you saw the video of that, but
I did. Also, send positive thoughts. We got Tropical Storm Barrel raging in the Gulf. It's supposed to make landfall sometime early Monday morning around the Victoria area, just south of Houston. Hope everybody gets out of there safe. It looks like it's going to miss us here in Central Texas. It's going to veer to the east, but definitely hit Houston, College Station, that area. So just thoughts and prayers to everybody down on the coast.
Yeah, be careful, everybody down there, and take it easy. Well, by the way, just real quick, Andrade put up a picture of his back on X. It ain't pretty. It ain't pretty.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, he had a tough night last night. But so I watched the WrestleMania XL Behind the Curtain special. Of course, talking about the lead up to WrestleMania 40 and how that main event all came together. And I said, was I happy or was I sad after I saw it when it came to The Rock? Neither. I was ticked because I was right about that whole thing. Dwayne stuck his nose in there. And God, I'm sorry. I think Dwayne was greedy on this one. I really do. He made and it's funny, he's getting roasted with that picture of him because he said, well, I made a call to Nick Khan, and someone took a screenshot of that, and it's been going around where everybody's saying, that Dwayne made a call and whatever happened, and been making fun of it. I'm sorry, and I know he's got on the board at TKO, but he was like, well, you know what? I think I can make a better main event. And, we were planting the seeds for this for years. And, when he went out and said, well, I was in Denver, I made my appearance. I got on the show and said, hey, you know what? I'm going to float a test balloon out here. And when he made his head of the table comment out there on January 1st, and I think he was selfish on this. I'm sorry, but I do. I don't know. Did you get that feel, Stu, or
a little bit? Now, at the same time, it was good to see. So remember when that went down, Cody gets in the ring, says, I want that title, but not at WrestleMania. Talk about getting counsel from The Rock, and then here comes The Rock, and it looks like it's going to be Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania, and the outrage that poured out from the fans, the "We Want Cody" chants, and all that good stuff. give Triple H and Nick Khan credit for pivoting. Because it sounded like if that hadn't happened, yes, we would have seen Rock versus Roman. That would have pissed me off. Because you've been building to Cody. You have him win the Royal Rumble, and now he's not going to get a world title shot at Mania. That would have pissed me off. So being able to see the writing on the wall, make the pivot, and then create what they did, I'm glad that happened. Yeah, I think Dwayne was a little greedy. And I think there's still going to be something. Now, what that looks like at WrestleMania 41, especially now when you factor in the fact it'll be John Cena's final WrestleMania as a wrestler. What does that look like?
Yeah.
Do we see Rock Cena 3? I don't know.
Yeah. See, and I will say I'll give credit that they did realize, hey, this isn't going to work. We got to change it. So credit to Dwayne for being willing to make the change, but the situation wouldn't have happened if he hadn't pushed this whole thing. But now we have another situation where he came back out, remember, after WrestleMania and had that thing with Cody and said, I'll be seeing you down the road.
Mm-hmm.
And from what a lot of stuff that I've read, the tentative plan is to have Rock and Cody at WrestleMania 41 here in Las Vegas. But what if that doesn't work out? What if there's something different that is going to play better? Because here's the other issue. Wouldn't Rock and Roman make more sense now?
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't it make more sense? Because here's where my creative mind is thinking that The Rock is behind this new bloodline, right? You would think Roman lost. Rock didn't get beat by Cody. Roman did. And Roman got speared by The Rock in that tag match.
Mm-hmm.
So you have some pieces there that would set up Rock and Roman for WrestleMania 41. But then he's saying, well, I'll see you down the road, Cody. So now you have two different paths there, but it would seem like Rock and Roman would be the match to make. And now we're talking about, well, John Cena is going to be around too. So this is where The Rock interjecting himself makes things more complicated than they need to be. Because you could have just had Rock, Roman, and Rock's behind this new bloodline, and boom, now you got Rock, Roman, and off you go.
You're right. And remember, he says, I'll see you down the road. That doesn't have to be at Mania. It could be the Royal Rumble. It could be at Elimination Chamber. It could, if they do another spring show in Saudi Arabia, could be at that one. So Rock versus Cody doesn't have to happen at WrestleMania. Because I think you're right. I think Rock versus Roman, that's the match for Mania 41. I would say maybe Cody versus Rock at Royal Rumble. And that's the one that's going to be in Indianapolis at the Colts Stadium. I'd do it there. And then Roman versus Rock at Mania. As far as The Rock is behind this new bloodline, you could find a way to make that happen. I'm not so sure about it, if only because it just, I don't know, it doesn't look right. I don't know why, but it just there's something missing from it.
Yeah, well, The Rock doesn't like to lose. Solo doesn't like the loser either. So, but yeah, like I said, I just thought that it really, The Rock could have waited. He could have waited. I mean, it came out okay. As fortunately, you got a lot of people that put the egos aside and figured it out. But it didn't have to go where it did. But they lucked out. To a point, they lucked out. So, but it's an interesting documentary, and I'd recommend everybody take a look at it. And Stu, tell everybody now, like I said, you got Dustin Rhodes coming on your show. Tell everybody a little bit about that before we get out of here.
Yeah, Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Great wrestling insight from great wrestling insiders. Get it wherever you get your podcast. This week, I will talk to the natural Dustin Rhodes about the Rhodes Wrestling Academy Star Bash, which will be next Sunday on their YouTube channel. I also talked to his nephews, the newest chapter of the Rhodes Legacy, Wayne and Wyatt, the Texas Outlaws, about their start in the wrestling journey. They've got a match at Star Bash for the Rhodes Wrestling Academy tag team titles, and it's a bunkhouse match, which, of course, the creation of Dusty Rhodes. Check it out, Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, wherever you get your podcast.
All right, Stu Myrick. That's Stu Myrick. STEW is Stu. That's Stu, and it is a stew to say the least. And he helped me cook the pot here today. Appreciate it, Stu. Thank you so much for joining us. I do. Very happy to have you on the show whenever we can. And guys, yeah, you got it. And that's going to do it for us here on the Mark Hoke Show, guys. We will see you next week on KDAWN. Once again, give us a follow on X at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show, YouTube, The Mark Hoke Show, markhokeshow.com. Just get in on the family. We do appreciate it. And we hope you have a terrific Sunday, Las Vegas, and wherever you're listening around the world. We'll see you next time for the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
Because you want to hear bacon and eggs on your outdoor griddle.